If success was a person, Elon Musk would top the list. As the richest person in the world with a net worth of $268 billion, who would dare ignore his aura? But was he successful all his life? And what is the insane story behind Elon Musk's success? Watch this video to find out how Musk climbed the ladder of success to be the richest man on Earth. To understand Musk's success story, we'll need to go back right to where things began. Elon Reeves Musk was born in Pretoria, South Africa, to a Canadian nutritionist and model mother, Maya, and a South African engineer, Elon Musk, on the 28th of June, 1971. At an early age, Musk displayed a very vivid sign of talent and natural gifts, as his mother would later report. From Musk's perspective, he felt more different from other children, as he had a constant explosion of ideas. Sadly, whenever he tried to express his situation, no one seemed to understand him. He was soon enrolled in school owing to his excellent capabilities, though unfortunately for him, other students taunted him for being too small or bookish. The taunting wasn't enough, as they would follow him home and throw cans at him. His only solace was books. To Musk, books were his early way of dealing with pressure in both school and at home, and it worked quite well seeing where he is now. Home was not so favorable, as his parents divorced when he was just 8 years old. At the time, he had two other siblings, Kimball and Tosca Musk. He decided to stay with his father but regretted his decision. His father was abusive. He later described him as a terrible human being. Books, his only friends and first parents, consoled his miserable life and gave him hope for a brighter future, the future he is now living. According to Kimball, Musk would read 2 books a day. At one point, when he ran out of things to read, he decided to pore over the encyclopedias. Such was the early preparation for his genius and success. Musk read a lot of computer programming books. At the age of 12, he designed a science fiction video game inspired by space called Blastar, whose source code was published by PC and Office Technology. This was quite a feat, as it was back in the days when he had to write some commands to make a computer work. His work was not such a marvel, however, it certainly surpassed what any 12-year-old put forward. He later sold it at $500, which was quite an amount given the era he lived in. Despite his achievements, his teenage life was anything but happy, especially at school, where he was a constant victim of bullying. One time, a student pushed him down the stairs, and as if that wasn't enough, other bullies rushed to beat him once he landed. The injuries were serious that he had to be rushed to the hospital for surgery to correct the damage to his nose. Aside from that, the Afrikaner culture dominant in Pretoria ran against his geeky personality. It had a prevalent hyper-masculine behavior to which Musk enjoyed some privilege, but that was all. He felt like an outsider in his native country. Kimball best described it as, South Africa was like a prison for someone like Elon. He dreamed of a land that would support dreams and often thought of America in this cliched form, a land of endless opportunities. This is how it started for him. When the opportunity arrived, he flew out of South Africa without looking back. When Musk was about to turn 18, he obtained a passport to Canada through his mother. He had 2 reasons for this. First, it would be an easy way to get to America, his dreamland from childhood. And Canada would be a stop spot through his maternal origin. Secondly, it would offer him a way to escape from mandatory enlisting in the South African military. He argued that he would be forced to participate in the apartheid regime. Musk was not a typical traveler. He had his stuff unusually packed with a suitcase of books and a backpack of clothes. Musk ended up enrolling in Ontario's Queen University for economics and physics in Canada. Outside his studies, he would read magazines alongside Kimball. They identified people they wanted to meet and took turns cold calling, asking them if they were available for lunch. As a result, they were more exposed, and Elon got a summer internship at the Bank of Nova Scotia through Peter Nicholson. The billionaire was more ambitious in college than in his high school. There he found many people who comfortably accepted his ideas on space, electric cars, and energy, and he relished that. His friend Farouk says of Musk, when Elon gets into something, he develops just this different level of interest in it than other people. Musk would graduate and join Kimball to open their first startup, Zip2. It was an ingenious idea as the web had just been introduced, and few businesses understood the ramifications of using the internet. The internet business would provide maps and business directions to online newspapers. Musk dealt with the geeky side of the business, coding, while Kimball made door-to-door sales operations. Businesses had to be charmed by salesmen to pay for what they did not know. Musk's work ethic had started early, and it showed in his enterprise. According to Hellsman, one of the first recruits of Zip2, Musk never seemed to leave the office. Maybe he showered on the weekends. In 1996, Zip2 finally received the much-needed investment. Then, it got sold in 1999 for $307 million. The sale of Zip2 gave Musk a boost of confidence. Musk searched for an opportunity that had tons of money with inefficiencies which he could solve using the internet. His solution? PayPal, specialized in transferring money online. He later sold PayPal to eBay for $1.4 billion and made $100 million from the deal. His success with PayPal looks easy, yet it would surprise you that it was voted the worst business concept of the year in 1999. Instead of giving up, Musk relentlessly fed on the criticism of the customers to make his product a solution to the end users. By the age of 31, Musk had accumulated millions in his pocket. With this, he went on to realize his dream of making life multi-planetary. He set out on his journeys to Russia about 3 times between 2000 and 2001 to inquire from the Russian government about the price of used rockets. They quoted him insanely absurd prices, which his millions would not suffice. So he decided to make the rockets from scratch. That was just crazy. No one had ever heard of a privately owned rocket company in 2002. Only the government through NASA could attain such feats. The madness wasn't over yet because the mastermind of SpaceX did not even own a degree in aerospace, claiming that he was self-taught and had a good command of his space knowledge. No one wanted to join SpaceX, at least not the expert aerospace engineers, and there was no point hiring the bad ones. So, Musk signed himself up as the chief engineer of his company. Making rockets to fly in space wasn't such an easy accomplishment for Musk. Before they successfully launched a rocket to the Earth's orbit, they had 3 dismal failures. Each failure was worse than the preceding one, making his company bankrupt. In addition, NASA was outright against him, and Neil Armstrong, his hero and inspiration in the space industry, wouldn't hear a word of it. Musk affirms that if he had obtained a chief engineer, they wouldn't have had those failures. On the other hand, his electric car company, Tesla, demanded so much money. He was faced with the decision of axing one of his companies, Tesla and SpaceX, or share the last of his finances between the two. He went for the hard choice of dividing his income between his 2 companies, and fortunately, they have both survived. SpaceX is best known for sending astronauts and satellites to space. It is currently creating and testing a spaceship structure for lunar landing and future mass crew missions. Tesla, on the other hand, is also known for its cutting-edge technology in electric cars, solar panels, and lithium-ion battery storage. Whether it is out of genius or pure hard work, one factor remains constant. Whenever Musk talks about his success, he constantly mentions his hard work. Working for over 100 hours a week to a point of looking for a solution that would replace eating. We could argue that he was intelligent with an IQ of over 150, but let's face it, a high IQ is not a guarantee for success. It only shows how easily someone can learn something. One can have an IQ of an average person and work hard to learn all it takes and achieve something, while another can have a high IQ and never really use it to accomplish anything. Musk's life is a story of hard work and persistence regardless of the odds. It clearly depicts a place of reading and achievement success, notwithstanding setting goals bigger than yourself. The insane story behind Musk's success is a true motivation to students, young professionals, entrepreneurs, and everyone in general. You just need to not give up. To this end, thank you all for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss the latest news about Elon Musk, SpaceX, and Tesla.